And we're live. So let's get Cari on here from Underground Radio. Shift happens, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So she's going to be hopping on here right away, and then we're going to get into this conversation. And I really want you to have fun with this because that's what it's all about. We're just trying to have some fun with life and, mix things up a little bit. Not always thinking of the things that happen as being negative. So we decided that we would do something fun like this with all of you. And if we do it live, then it's just like off the cuff, whatever pops into our heads, and throw your comments up here so that we know, what's on your mind, what you want to say in this conversation, and we'll just have fun with it. I think it's going to be something that I know we're going to be looking forward to. And it says Cari is unable to join. Let's try sending her another invite and see if we can't get this going. Gotta love technology. It's fun when it works. But this is still easier than trying to get together and meet somewhere and videotape it and then send it out to you. And we're just gonna roll with it. That's how life works. And that's some of the stuff that we want to talk about is when unexpected things come up, how do we handle it? That's part of the shift happens. Shift happens. You plan something. I was just talking to a friend, was that this morning, and she was saying her whole summer plans changed because of some things that came up in her family. And you sometimes just have to do that, right? You just have to sort out what you're doing with the new circumstances that have come up. And how we react to that tells a lot about what's going on in our own heads, and if we can just figure stuff out. Oh, here she is. It says Cari joined. Hello. Hi, Cari. How come it's not letting you? Let's invite you. Go live. Maybe we have to use the back door to get you in here, because it said that you weren't able to join. So you've joined as a guest. And let's see if we can get you into the show. So it's not a solo show. We send out this invitation. We're going to get her in here yet. Go live. There we go. I have been sending you an invite, Cari. I'm doing my best. I don't know what it's thinking here in Instagram land. We'll get it sorted. Add as moderator. Confirm. Well, you're a moderator. Let's see if we can get you in the show. Unable to join. Okay, I'm going to pop off and we will try this again. Oh, viewer request. Oh, maybe this is going to work. Come on, let it work. There we go. Woo!
Okay, I was trying to actually get in on my laptop instead of just using my phone. But
I didn't like that.
It's not letting me, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Here we are. Shift happens. Even in Instagram land. Here we are, though. I was just talking to myself basically, but it'll all be on the replay when we post the live.
Right, I was like, okay, I'll just wait for you to pop up. So I was on my laptop. I'm like, okay, I'll know when you go live. It'll say you're live. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, I'll click on it. So I clicked on it and then I could watch you. But it didn't say I could join or anything. And I was like, I'm gonna have to use my phone.
Yeah, it was like so weird. I kept sending invites and it wouldn't work. And then it's like
And it
unable to
doesn't
join.
show you. It doesn't show you invites on your laptop at all, just
Oh,
on your phone. So I was like, oh shit.
well, live and learn. We got to use our app.
Right. So
How the hell are you today? Oh, by the way, I'm going to give a little disclaimer. So some of our episodes are clean cut and some of them are unfiltered. And I'm feeling a little loopy today. Just got back from the dentist. So let's just give everybody a warning if they have littles around that it may be unfiltered. They may want to throw in their earbuds or catch the replay after the kids are tucked into bed.
yeah,
We'll see.
exactly.
And the
Well,
way it started out, we might be dropping some shift bombs.
probably because it's already that bad. And now this is the other problem I have is because all of my notes for the show are on my phone.
Hey, you can share mine. I've got our little, okay, people, this is what happens. So,
But it's okay. I kind of know the basis of what we're doing.
yeah,
And,
we're just winging it. We're
exactly,
winging it. And
the first,
all I've got on here is all the funny shift we came up with. So after we came up with that name, we couldn't help ourselves. Like everything that we would say,
yeah,
we could substitute, especially like, that one fun word, like shit is fun. It's fun, but it fits in a lot of places. So what we do is we're just substituting shift because there's a lot of times it actually fits anyways. You can see where it fits. So anyway, that's what we have on our little list is all of those funny things we came up with that fit.
yeah.
So do we want to start by letting people know who us crazy people are that are on here?
That was the shifty plan.
That was
An introduction. But okay, so those of you that are watching that didn't catch our little preview, 2 weeks ago that we did,
Sunday.
and we did post it up on both our platforms and across social media. But yeah, we can formally introduce ourselves and then basically just kind of say, what's the show going to be about? And this, of course, is obviously the first episode. And it's going to be a little shifty. And then you guys can understand why we're using shift a lot. But some of you already know what the show's about if you've already caught a lot of our posts. So yeah, so we'll introduce ourselves and then you guys can make sure, like if you're following You Glow Girl, make sure you guys follow Underground Radio C, that's myself. And then you can kind of see, because we're going to switch up platforms off and on. We may be here, we may be through Facebook or, different places. We're going to try out a few different things to see how the shift happens and what's going to be the best shift for us. And then you guys can kind of just see, okay, where do we go today or whatever. So, and we'll figure that out as we go along. Ideally, the platform I use is a platform that mostly goes to Facebook and LinkedIn. And there is a way to go to Instagram. I just haven't figured it out yet. Because I haven't used it yet. Like I tried one time and I was like live on air and I was like, oh shit. I was pushing buttons. I'm like, no, and then I just abandoned.
Well,
mission.
I checked.
Got it.
So we're talking about StreamYard, and I checked on there, and it does say Instagram is different. Instagram is harder. It's tricky. So it's not just you, Cari.
No, it is. It's a lot. Okay. So the process with Instagram is that you have to start the live stream on Instagram. And then, so you're set it up on StreamYard. Then it goes live on Instagram. Like there's another window that you have to have open for so StreamYard is open. Instagram is open. So you have the two tabs. So you go over to Instagram, you have that tab open, you start your live stream, and then you have to kind of, I don't know if you close it or you just go back to the other window somehow. So we'll have to play around with it because I think it's going to be timing, and so we don't lose the streams as we go, because it's going to be very frustrating to be going back and forth and then missing something. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So
I know.
love it.
It's,
I wanted it
anyways.
to be on one place where you can stream out everywhere. And somebody told me years ago they could do it, but there wasn't really an easy way to do it. Now it's easier, and I'm still like, this is still a very hard thing to do. So I'll figure it out. It's just a matter of actually trying to do it because I need my Instagram peeps on when I do my shows too. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool. But
Likewise. Okay, so
yeah,
tell us who you are.
who am I? That's a great
Well,
question.
in 2 sentences or less. What's your
Sometimes I,
elevator
oh,
speech?
some days I don't even know who I am because I do many things, but basically I am Cari Hansen and I own Underground Radio C. I am a radio host and producer for my own platform, Underground Radio C, but I go live and do radio shows through Jess FM / Just TV because they're both the one and the same radio station, which is based through Lethbridge, Alberta. And my shows stream through there on Saturday nights. So that's called Connected with Cari. And they're great because that's the same. We stream all the shows through Facebook, in their Instagram. So I have to ask them how they do it. And then I go through like my LinkedIn and it's through Roku and YouTube and everything. So we get a nice huge audience, and that's what I love about being able to do it through them is because we get that big audience, like over 50,000 plus that tune in and upwards. So it just depends, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and I've been doing this for, my goodness, 4.5 years now, and I love it. It's absolutely fun, and I have a variety of guests. Like it's never just the same. Like it's never just musical guests. It's all different every week. There may be a couple in a row. There may be authors, or maybe there's musicians that are on a couple weeks in a row, but that's never the same person. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've had a couple people that do come back, but it would be like an update on what they're doing. It's not just the same interview. It's going to be different every time. It's never scripted, just like our shows. We had a layout.
Yeah.
Whether layouts happen or not, that's a different story. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to have my guests come on and they connect with me, and then in turn I'm connecting them with their community and with others in the world, and I want my guests to be able to connect with them and go, hey, maybe if they have a business, like if they want to connect with you, they could be like, hey, I want to share an article, or I've got some information, or they know someone that could work with you. There's just so many possibilities. Like it's truly endless. And just having people come on and just share some pretty cool stories, I think that's always the fun bit as well. So, and it's just always different. It's always pretty much live. I think I've only had a couple pre-recorded shows, but the lives are way better because you just never know what's going to happen. So it's a shift, I tell you.
It's totally off the cuff. Yeah.
It is.
I like that.
It is. Yeah. And I'm based out of Calgary, Alberta. So I've done a couple in-person interviews. I've also done live streaming for events. So if you want to hire me to do live streams, I can come out and be there. I do some public speaking. I haven't done a lot lately, but I do public speaking. I do MC for events. So I'll be up on stage and I'll be like, okay, here's next guest, come on in, and make things flow. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's, I think, pretty much it. But I also do all these little things too. I don't just do my big radio shows. I have a variety of little, shows I do in between with fun little things and interesting, topics that I think people need to know. So yeah,
Well, and I think that's what got us thinking about doing this.
I think
You
so.
know, I don't even remember. We were having a conversation. Next thing you know, we had a talk show.
Right.
It's
Well, it was, well, we were decided that, we needed to collaborate somehow because we both have a message to bring, and we both have platforms where, there's a lot of knowledge that can be shared, and it's just the way that you do it. So having a show where a lot of people can tune in and they go, oh, like I can totally relate to this.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Oh, I've been there. I've done that. Or I never knew this. Like this is some new knowledge coming in. So I think that's what we wanted to do, was have a show where people tuned in, and not always like the same topic every week. It's going to be different. It's going to be, some things you are going to be like, oh crap, like I can really relate to this or relate to that. And then other weeks you're going to be like, this has nothing to do with me. And you might still tune in, you might not.
I like to stir the shift pot a little bit. Like,
Exactly.
you
So
know,
yes, we
that's
realize
what I think. Yeah, make people think about something differently than maybe they have, and it's open for discussion. Maybe we just throw it out there and go, huh, I wonder if there's a different way to think about this, right?
yeah, exactly. So the different shifts that we decided, because shifting in our own lives, like we ourselves have been through different challenges and different places in our lives, which ideally are shifting. So we're shifting every day into different people. We shift career wise, we shift like, personally and business, right? So that's, I think, the two major things. But then it's like everyone around us is consistently shifting, our friends shift, there's different ways that things are shifting. So as we're kind of having fun and discussing things, we're like, well, we can make this a lot of fun. And it doesn't have to be such a serious conversation all the time, but some serious topics, but have fun with it as well. So yeah.
Well, and we also want to encourage people and inspire people and make them curious, and like I say, challenge them around the other shifts that they are capable of creating in
Mhm.
the world and creating for others. We don't just want to exist like just keep one foot in front of the other and our head down and we're just trying to get through the next day or
Right.
hour or whatever it might be. But how can we consider the positive things that we can actually create, like the shifts that we can create for the world around us that can make a big difference, big ripple? So I think like that's another shift that we wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
um yeah.
I, I do. I do agree, because people, and that we're not alone. There
Yeah.
are multiple things that we've all been through that someone's been through already, or they're going to be going through, or like they're just stepping into. And I believe like everyone goes through sort of similar shifts through their life, probably around the same ages. I would say maybe some people go through things earlier, maybe some a little bit later, but knowing that someone's out there that's, we're not alone through this journey, right? We're, as I say, the human experiences. What someone I've heard that a couple times, and I was like, okay, that's kind of neat, like the human experience. But yeah, shifting through it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be lonely. And I don't think it has to be always so serious. I think we can laugh at ourselves and not laugh at others, laugh with,
Try not to.
we can laugh with them.
Yeah.
I think that's the important thing, is just having a support system through all the shift out there, I think. Yeah.
And I like that you touched on the human aspect, because I was having a conversation with somebody. I forgot I'm holding this, so I'm sorry. I meant to throw it on my little stand. But shift happens. I just got back from the dentist. I'm trying not to drool when I drink because I'm still like, anyways.
You should get a straw. And I like to see that. And then you'd be like, all right.
But anyways, I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and she was, or where were we? Yeah, I was. That's where it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking about like imposter syndromes and stuff like that. And it's around, it can be in business or just generally in life. And I said, I come from a nursing background. So I see people as humans. Not that I'm criticizing, like I definitely have experienced imposter syndrome, or you don't fit in or whatever that might be, right? But I also know that I could potentially, as a nurse, have to help them wipe their ass someday. Like they're humans with human functions, and they're people at the very base. It doesn't matter how successful, rich, famous, whatever they are, they're humans. And they would like to be treated like humans. They want, obviously they've earned a level of respect by being accomplished in whatever way that might be. But what really comes down to is they're humans. And if you can look out across a room of people and see them that way, then less judgment, more curiosity, more compassion, more likely to connect. Like, why miss those opportunities because you feel intimidated? So when you see people at that level, I think it's encouraging, and then you feel more on par. You're more likely to talk to them. You're more likely to be caring and see them as equals. And so it's interesting that, you mentioned this human factor. Yeah, I guess I should introduce myself.
Well,
So yeah, what are we like?
Page, so people should know who
We're
you
like 20 minutes in. Anyways, that's
but
how it goes.
it's an introduction, though, can be, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. An introduction can be 20 minutes because you're introducing who you really are and what matters to you most. So, and getting into, what we're doing together it's a good thing, right? So,
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah, doesn't have minutes. I've had people come on my show, they ramble everything in 30 seconds, and then they're like, this is me. They're like, okay, they do a quick introduction of who they are, what they do, and then that's it. And I'm like, I need a little bit more. Not good.
Yeah.
If you plan on
So I'm
show, please, feel free to use 5 minutes of an introduction.
I think anybody that's in business especially, we're just like, you got your 45 seconds and you get in your meeting and you're going around the table and that's all you got. And if you don't get done, somebody's going to be like, gong, and then you're done. Right.
Pull you off with
Yeah. You walk off in shame as you, yeah.
You're never allowed back on ever again.
Yeah.
That's actually real quick though. I have that problem when I go to meetings, like little Zooms or whatever, and they're like, "Go quickly introduce yourself." No, there's no word "quick" in my book. I'm like, it doesn't happen. Please share
That's
who
good.
you are.
Well, I'm Deena. I know it's you glow girl, but I'm Deena Kordt. So oh my gosh, lots of things going on. But the biggest project I got in the works right now is there's 2 digital magazines that I publish, Divorce Magazine Canada and Life Changes Magazine. So I added the Life Changes Magazine. I also have a podcast, Life Changes Channel. And so that's where like Cari and I are used to interviewing other people. So it's really fun for us to just jump on and just like yak about whatever we're doing, right?
Oh, nothing.
And help, like, and just observations from the world, etc.
Yeah.
I also host online support groups every 2 weeks for people to come on and connect with guests that are professionals and can answer some of your questions, or if you're feeling stuck. Plus, the professionals can network with potential referral partners. So there's a lot of that. And I'm working on some other stuff as well in the background that I'm building out for in-person networking opportunities. I think are going to be super cool. And then we have this, and I've got a YouTube channel, the social media that goes with all of it. And I just really love connecting people and creating stuff. But I keep coming up with more ideas, and then I create that, and like there's no lack of ideas. It's just lack of me. I need to clone a few times or figure out which shift I need to really focus on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, that's just a quick summary about me. So one thing we were going to talk about a little bit of cowboy shift.
We were,
because
again,
it's Stampede, and we're kind of right between Ponoka Stampede and Calgary Stampede. Mm-hmm. Now, I have never been to Calgary Stampede, and anybody who knows me, like I grew up on a ranch, and I've been in Alberta now for 13 years or something like that, and no desire to even go to the Calgary Stampede. Now, Ponoka, yeah, from my understanding, it's the same cowboys, same stock, like same pickup men, possibly even, I'm not sure. feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But it's not the same crazy ass crowd. Like they're there for the cowboy shit. Like it's not just the party. I think what turned me off the most about the Calgary one is that people are like, they'll go
Mhm.
year after year after year, never go to the rodeo. It's all about the parties and the shows. It's like, oh, cool, but that's not my thing. So, yeah, what about you, Cari?
Okay, growing up in Calgary and growing up around the Stampede. So first of all, I learned more recently, probably uh, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, that now I've been to a little Stampede before, like a little rodeo. I don't think it was the Ponoka one. It might have been like Rimby or something. It was a small town one. Now, the thing I didn't understand until I interviewed Mark Sutherland. So he's a chuck wagon racer. Their farm is here in Alberta. He's one of the most famous racers out there. He is now retired. His son Dayton has now taken over doing their races, and he goes on live after doing some of their runs, and he talks about the horses and everything going on. So what I've learned, also, I've got friends who are in the business. They do, these runs too. And like they've got farms and stuff. So what I've learned was that it isn't just the Calgary Stampede. It's not like the Cowboys just go there. When I talk about a Stampede run or a rodeo run, they're literally on the road going and traveling rodeo to rodeo to rodeo throughout most of the year. Not during really winter months, but more, spring, summer, fall, those months. And so what they do is they enter into the rodeos and then they get their prizes that way. But yeah, it's a consistent, like, so let's say if you win at the Ponoka rodeo, you get moved on. It's like a round robin tournament kind of idea. So they get moved on to the next rounds, but you can also enter as well. They're not going to be like, no, you can't enter. So a lot of them that you do see are, people that have, like, most of them are farm ranch hand, like not ranch hands, but those that grew up on ranches, and their kids have been in like the 4-H club, things like that. And they grew up with the rodeo. So they've been traveling with their parents or with cousins or whatever, and then they get into it, and then they learn how to ride. They do barrel racing. They learn how to do the chuck wagons. They learn, how to, even like our Spruce Meadow events where they have to jump things, so there's a few different, things that you can do. But it's really surprising that it's not all fun and games. It's an actual
Oh, yeah.
serious business behind it, and it's very, like, it's a lot of work. It's a business. It's not, so when you factor in the Stampede, of course, like, growing up, I remember as a kid watching the parade on TV. We've been to the parade a few times, but like you're down there stupid early downtown in Calgary. You bring along your lawn chair and you know, brother, sister, whoever you have in your family, like everyone's down there, and you're there stupid early so you can get a spot, because if you get down there later, I think the parade starts at 9 a.m. And if you're down there late, like there's no parking. There's no space to even put a chair or breathe. Like that's it. So now the parades are always the first Friday of when the Stampede starts. So this Friday, they'll have the parade, but Thursday is the sneak peek night. So you can go down to the grounds and you can see, all the like the exhibitions are all set up, all the rides are set up, everything is all there. I think they've got a grandstand show. I'm not sure if they do. Yeah, I think they do sneak peek night. But like tickets for any of the rodeo aspect go really quickly. So you have to get tickets in advance. And I remember like going to the grandstand show quite a few years in a row. So those of you who don't know the grandstand show, it is the biggest outdoor show on the planet. As they say, the greatest outdoor show on earth is the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede. So I think they took out the exhibition part, but it's the Calgary Stampede, I think now. But the grandstand show is basically a lot of performers that perform these amazing shows. Each year's a different show, different theme, and literally hundreds of kids that are in a performing group called the Young Canadians usually perform. They have a bunch of variety of different guests that come. One of my good friends, Dave Kelly, is actually the host. So he's on stage and he hosts the show. And he actually hands out awards and stuff too for the rodeo and all that. Yeah, and they just have a bunch of different people. And then there's the fireworks. So that's why we have the fireworks every single night, is because of the grandstand show. It's integrated into the show. So there's part of, that fun there. And that's always been kind of like a tradition where even if I don't go to the Stampede grounds, I would like to at least catch the fireworks once, at least, to kind of watch it somewhere in the city and go, okay, cool. Like that's kind of it. Now, after there's the Stampede exhibition. So Stampede is more the rodeo stuff. And the exhibition, they do have, buildings downtown where, like, I mean, Deena, you've been, but they've got like the BMO Center. What else is down there? There's an agriculture part where you can walk around and see different farm animals, how they feed them or what they do. You take your kids and they can learn some farm life if they've never been. Um, they've got like little, um, the exhibition also is like crafts, I want to say, so people can enter in like beadwork or paintings. And I like to, like, those infomercials, they have like that kind of a section. So you can go walk around little booths and it's like a trade show and they've got like, so,
Maybe it is
so
a trade show.
yeah,
Maybe it's a trade
it
show.
is. Yeah. So, there's different aspects to it. So if you're not into watching the Cowboys ride, or you're not into rides, like you don't want to go on, the Midway, spend money with that. There's the food. There's interesting little foods they have each year. Mini donuts, of course. That's what they're famous for. And going and seeing what people have been making. One year they had cake decorations and they win prizes like cash prizes and other prizes. So again, it's not just, that aspect to it of just the Cowboys and the parties. Now the parties, as you grow up, of course, being teenagers, like, yeah, let's go to Stampede and pick up the guys, right? Like that was the thing. It's like all the hot guys in Calgary are going to be there, and so that was like growing up. It's like,
They've been
okay,
hiding until Stampede time.
yeah. So, and maybe younger people, in their 20s will go and it's the same thing. They'll go just to pick up and find hot dates, whatever. So there is that aspect. They also have different events in the city where there's like concerts. They have stages in the Stampede grounds where a lot of performers do come and perform. And it's actually one of the biggest things that an artist can do is actually perform at the Stampede. That's like on every single performer's artist wish list, bucket list, is to perform either in grounds
Wow.
or at Cowboys tent. So the Cowboys Stampede, like their tent is not at the Stampede grounds. It's at the Cowboys, the location nearby. It's like, I want to say like a block away. So, but they have, there's concerts every single night there, and there's different, from like we had Snoop Dogg one year. There's been Drake. There's been, who else has been there? Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't even name them all. Like, yeah, the big names, but a lot of big names, and then country artists like Kip Moore, he's been there. I want to say Shania Twain, but I don't think she was at the Cowboys tent. She was at the Dome during Stampede. We've had, like Foo Fighters, Coldplay. Well, Loud Luxury is coming this year. Oh my goodness. So like just Google Calgary Stampede and they'll have like a little like who's playing on things, and then Cowboys tent. Just Google that up and they'll show you all the, and I was getting, because I'm on the email list, the VIP email list for Cowboys. And so I get like advanced emails saying who's going to be in town. So I can get like, they're called shoot passes. And then you can sign up and get like tickets into the grounds and then you can go watch the shows. So, but the bad part, I think these are all the fun things, the interesting things, but the partying can get out of control. Okay. So there is that bad side of it. Like people will get drunk. Like I don't know how they get drunk and go to work the next day. Like just, or they just call in sick. I'm not coming in. I'm sure half of the
Yeah.
city calls in sick Stampede week. Like, and not only just regular, but there are corporations that do go to the Stampede, like as business, like
Yeah.
brunches and meetings, and they are like, yeah, they actually like corporations hand out rodeo tickets, and they're down there, like that's part of their PR is doing
Mhm.
that. So it's like whatever. So it's that different shift in your life of getting to like, okay, when I'm young, it could be the rides, the fun, the parade, part of the food. Teenager years, the hot guys, and the rides and the fun. And yeah, at that point, you're like, well, I might go see the ShamWow tent, and I might go see the cool tables, and they might have free giveaways. Maybe you'll go, maybe you won't. When you're more in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you're like, you know, little couple rides, more of seeing things and getting into the rodeo, right? And it depends. Again, like if you grow up with those that have been in the rodeo, you're gonna more go to the rodeo and be involved there. You can work at the Stampede grounds when you are 12 years old. No, 14,
Whoa.
14 years old. You can go pick up garbage. Yay!
Well, I volunteered at Ponoka
Yeah,
Stampede on Monday night,
yeah,
and it was a fundraiser
yeah,
for rural youth, and it was a way to, if they brought volunteers, then
yeah,
or like that nonprofit then got money, and yeah, I think 14 or 16, 16 was fine for sure, but I
yeah,
think some 14s were allowed in there too. But yeah, while you're describing this, and that's why I wanted to bring this up,
yeah,
because I wanted to um, bring up these things that it's not a controversy per se, but I want to challenge my thoughts around it too and create like a shift in my own brain, because
exactly.
all I was thinking about, and easy for me to judge, I've never
Yeah,
been to it. All I was thinking about was it's a rodeo, go for the rodeo and skip all this crazy stupid party shit. Like that's all that they're looking forward to. Is just
yeah,
like there are some people like they're just crazy about going for the parties, and I'm not against partying, but just it's just not, it's too peoply, it's too crowded, it's too expensive, it's too much, too loud, too just, and as I'm getting older, of course I feel even more that way, like it's just too loud.
8 o'clock.
um
Hey.
yeah, but but I like that you've mentioned, like there's so much for families to do, even if they aren't into the rodeo part. There's so much for families or people to just go and enjoy and learn about what else is
Yeah,
out, in our communities and the businesses
yeah,
and whatever else. So that's
yeah.
good. That's what I was
Well, and
hoping
I
is.
also want to bring up now that you mentioned more family stuff. Um, there's really cool shows around the grounds that are free. So one show that I've loved for many years is the Real Canadian Super Dogs, and
Oh,
they've got an agility course set up inside. I think it's the Roundup Center, and you can go sit there for free. And I think there's like 3 or 4 shows daily, and like there's a brochure you can get at the gate, and it will tell you show times of things, and you can watch the dogs race against each other, and they win prizes, and like the owners win prizes. Well, the dogs get love, I'm sure, but and like little, and there's BMX
oh,
bikes.
fun.
So I met Keith Sayers as well one year. And yeah, they do BMX, like the stunt bikes. So you can watch them go up ramps, and there's shooting fire, daredevil stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then they have, what else do they have? like Métis, like native shows, like dancing,
Yeah.
and I can't forget about that part because it's heritage.
Yeah.
So usually, I want to say I don't know what end of the Stampede grounds, but there's one of the ends. They've got like a teepee set up, and there's different little things involved in there too. They've got their own little corner of different events that goes on over there, and again, like some history. So that's one thing. Like I think we as like you just said, like in your brain you are shifted to different thoughts about Stampede. As we get older, we have to stop capping ourselves, going, oh, it's just this, it's just that, it's that, until you go and you learn. And like I like to go to different places and actually see everything. Okay, what's over in this corner, what's in this corner, instead of going, okay, today I just want to go and I know what's at Stampede. I know exactly where everything is, but I'm just here for these 5 rides, the rodeo, and I'm out. But getting like when you're younger and the kids get dragged around, they hate it. I get it, but I try to enjoy the moments, right? So if you're with friends or whatever, try and ask everyone what they want to see, what they want to do, but go to their favorite and go to one you've never been to. So that's one thing that I'm learning now and shifting my, thoughts is when I go someplace, even if I've been there before, like I just went to Callaway Park on the weekend. I'm like, yeah, I do all my favorite rides, which is great. But I'm like, okay, what haven't I done? What food haven't I tried? Because as we get so used to shifting ourselves back, we're not shifting forward, going, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is new, this is new, this is that, and expanding our thoughts
Well,
on
I've
what's out
yeah, and
there.
I've recently had encouragement that way. It was an email list that I'm on,
Oh,
and it was just a reframe. Like vacation doesn't have to mean like
yeah,
you see everybody posting all their trips that they're on and everything else, and you're thinking, oh, like I'm such a loser. I'm not doing all this, or I really should, or my summer sucks, or whatever it might be, right? Because I don't have anything planned. But how much of your own neighborhood, backyard, local community,
mm,
or an event that you do take in that you just go and do your favorite part of it,
yeah,
step out of that. Like go just like, yeah, shift your perspective, take a look around and make a list. Like maybe sit down with your family at some point, some weekend or after supper or whenever you have an
yeah,
idea and say, let's just be tourists in our own town
yeah,
and let's make a list. And then when all of a sudden we have an evening open up or a Sunday morning or whatever it might be, let's look at that list. Let's just pick something. Let's go hike this trail or let's go check out, whatever it is, right?
yeah. Because I think oftentimes, again, like we get so used to our patterns and so used to it's okay. Scheduling is great. I get it. Do it, whatever you need to do. But yeah, take one day out of the month or 2 months, 2 days out of the month and go, let's just close our eyes and point to the map of Calgary and wherever we get, wherever you live and do that or surrounding areas,
Yeah.
right? Again, often we're just so used to, oh, I do this Monday to Sunday and whatever, but give yourself something fun to look forward to. And say you're, a family, bring one of the kids' friends along so they can experience it. Or just if you're just a couple, have other couples come along with you. It doesn't have to be just you. Like sometimes if you do want to travel alone, that's the great time to do it, is really close to your home and
Mhm.
something on the other side of your city and go, okay, even a new place to eat. Like it doesn't have to be a place like to go and do adventures. That's great too, but also try new foods that day as well. Like try, I think a couple different things, because over the past few years I've been doing that. And I'm just like, I didn't know some places existed in our city, some foods that were around. I was like, holy cow, like this is so
Well,
good.
the
You know,
the
like,
beauty of this too, Cari, is that we're supporting local that way.
yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
and you get to meet more people that are actually in your
Yeah.
community. And I really love that. And I think like what was mentioned is this person had moved away and they'd lived somewhere for over 20 years
Yeah.
and they moved away and then they started thinking about places that they'd like never seen
Yeah.
where they'd lived.
Hmm.
And they thought, how did I drove right by it, or I worked just a few blocks down the street from that. I never even knew that existed. How
Yeah.
sad. So they are making a greater effort to explore where they live now
Yeah.
and really just take that in.
Yeah.
So super cool.
It is.
I like this this is a real shift show.
It is.
Like seriously.
It's a lot of shift. We shift our mindsets. We shift our the way we do things. That's, I think it's the good shifts that we should be doing. And yeah, like there's so many hidden gems where everyone lives that, you just don't know. Like what's even something neat to do is Google top 10 things to do in your city or top 10 close by, because oftentimes like Travel Advisor and those other travel places will have top 10s written
Yeah.
down, and then you can do that. But not just Googling that, ask your friends or even post on social media and ask people like, where's the coolest thing or where's the coolest place you've been to, or the coolest thing you've done in this area. And then if you plan on traveling, don't just like say you want to go to LA, for example. So find out, the top 100 things to do that's on most sites,
Yeah.
but then talk to people. Like if there's someone on your Facebook that that lives there, or people that have traveled there, ask them for like the hidden gems, because oftentimes you will drive past it, you'll look past it because you're so focused on like the big things you want to see, like
Mm-hmm.
go to the games or go do those big things too, but include a couple little things that you would
Yeah.
never have thought. So but yeah, Stampede, going back to that, just kind of, I'm not saying you have to go, or if you're not into it, don't go, obviously. But, you know, if there's somebody that wants to go and they're inviting you along, look at it as a positive thing. Don't go in with a negative aspect. It's only a couple hours of your life. Most chances are you'll try something new, or you'll just, I don't know, get a shirt, just have fun. That's how.
I could wear. I have my have a really nice day shirt on today.
I should have worn my Calgary Stampede shirt. I have a brown shirt and it's got like it's rhinestones. It says Calgary and a little rhinestone cowboy boot. So
Oh, this is fun. This is fun. So what we're planning to do is about every 2 weeks
yeah,
we're going to come on, and we really want like drop some. We'll post this and drop some comments
yeah,
of topics that you would like to hear, or some like shifts, whether it's shifts that are in our life, positive or negative,
yeah,
expected or unexpected. They all have an element that surprises us at some point. We think, oh yeah, I know what I'm in for, but then you don't. And the other thing is the shifts that we can create to make our world
yeah.
better. So tag us, Shift Happens Show, and then we'll search up those tags. We can reshare your stuff and post what kind of shifts that you experience in your life or that you want to create in the world. And yeah, we're going to have
Oh
fun
yeah,
with this
yeah,
because I think it's so important that we have a positive view of it or challenge it
yeah.
for ourselves or for others. And if when we observe something, it doesn't have to be all serious or painful or difficult. And even if it has been, like, let's just pause and maybe shift that perspective a little bit.
Exactly. That was great. I
I
had a
liked
lot
it.
of fun. It was a very good beginning to a good shift.
Yeah. Yeah. So post all your good shift, and we will catch you again in a couple
Woohoo.
weeks. And check out Stampede.
Yeah.
Give it a
If you're,
shot.
yeah. If not Google it up and then look at the pictures online at least,
Yeah.
and or go to the parade.
Yeah.
Who knows, whatever. Okay.
Okay. So much fun. Thank you,
Yeah.
Cari.
Have a
I'm gonna go
good
take something. I'm not
Yeah.
drooling anymore from this
No.
dental freezing's going away. Okay. It's all good.
Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.